Hello. Mhm. Hi. Mhm. Hey, Two Rivers. Hi, Tim.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, it's telling me I'm muted, but I don't think I don't know why my
Good morning.
is being silly.
Tracy
Good
here in
morning.
Albuquerque.
Mhm. Hey, you changed your shirt, Eric. That's a nice one. You shall. We're starting the call now. You're muted though, Eric. Okay.
Good morning. Hi,
Yeah.
Tim. Two Rivers. Raquel. Hey, Patricio.
Mhm.
You hear those goats?
Hear the goats? I don't hear the goats, but I'm hearing my own background noise of Isha. That's funny.
Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good to see everyone.
Yay, good to see you.
Definitely fall. I'm cutting up apples as we talk from our harvest here, some of our harvest here. There's Marsha. But I won't do it till I can mute myself. Hi, Marsha. Oh, still muted. How's everybody? Oh, there you are.
Morning.
Good morning. Well, while we're waiting for others to join the call, if anybody wants to say hello and where you're calling from, anything you want to just share briefly, feel free. Everybody comes in muted, so you have to unmute yourself, but
Good morning, everybody. I'm Yellow Robe from Sherwood, Oregon. Really good to see you guys.
hi, Yellow Robe.
Hi,
Good morning, Yellow Robe.
good morning.
Morning, everyone. It's Raquel. I'm up in Portland. I have to ground myself. Where am I? I'm here on Earth, tuning in from Portland. It's good to see everyone.
Good to see you.
And I'll say good morning to everybody too. And this is Marcia calling from Nanaimo, British Columbia. We've had a splendid summer, going into a beautiful fall. And I'll just share with you my harvest of the morning. Had a big bucket of tomatoes here. I'm thinking it's going to be some fresh salsa time. So yes, it's good to be on the call and to see everybody.
Wow, those are beautiful.
Morning, Marcia.
Good morning.
I saw your note that you're won't maybe not be on for long. So do you have any sense of how much time you have? Because I'd love to have you share if you can before you have to hop off. But
So probably at least half an hour. My friend is visiting actually from, or my cousin from Six Nations Reserve, and she's going to be heading back to the mainland today, getting ready to head home, and I'm going to be heading back east on Wednesday. Going back there to the reserve to visit family, but also it's my 50th nursing school reunion I'm going back for. So that should be a
wow.
big flash from the past.
Oh my goodness.
I
How
know.
fun.
How can that be? I'm so young. I don't know.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, Blue Horse.
Hi.
Yeah, hi, Gustavo.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Eddie, I'm sending you some pictures as you wish. As we talk, relating to some of the what we're gonna share. If you wish to put them up or not, I don't know. I'm sending it to you to WhatsApp.
Right. Oh. We got some feedback that your mic is low. I wonder if, I don't know if there's any way you can turn up the volume on your end or not, Eric.
All the way up.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just have to talk louder.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be good, Tata.
Marcia can, or wherever you want to start, Hetty, and then see what before Marcia has to go.
Well, welcome everyone. Heidi, would you like to share just to open us up and to start this recording? And if you haven't, please mute yourself and make sure that you have the chat feature open if you're on your computer. If you're on your phone, it's a little harder. But if you're on your computer, you can have that open and use it as a space of connecting and sharing questions even, or writing to myself. I'll be supporting on this call and non-Hetty with any questions or feedback, or it's a beautiful place just for reflections too. I found that we end up using it mostly for that. But welcome, and I'm going to pass it over to you, Hetty, to open our call.
Thank you, and then Raquel. Wow. I just want to say good morning to my relatives, those on the Zoom with us this morning and those that will be joining through the recording. And to just celebrate and honor this time of the fall equinox here in the north. I know here, calling in from Deer Mountain here, and it's definitely feeling the turn of the season and definitely appreciating this time of harvest. And the abundance that came from the big rains we had through the winter and no frost. So all the fruit trees have been really abundant, and the trees are starting to change their colors, and just really love this time of year. So this day, I know we're calling in a little early this time, but next weekend at the actual time of equinox, we'll be in ceremony here at Deer Mountain. And so it's really good to take this time to gather together in this way and really reach out and feel our community and connect with each other in this way. I'm just always grateful for these opportunities, and knowing, each one of us is anchored in a different place, and some places different times, and just how beautiful it is to come together in that way. And this day of Oshlahu in the Mayan calendar, of the full empowerment of the spirit and the breath and the winds, and just the potent energy that today brings. So just want to send my love through these waves and these ways to each of you, and blessings in your life. I know this time of equinox is this time of balance, and boy, it's such an interesting time of incredible beauty and incredible challenge, and like all of it together, and just kind of ride each moment and really appreciate and soak up and get all the juice out of the beautiful moments. And I really believe that these times when we gather like this is some of that beautiful juice that keeps me going, and I think others too. So just thank you all for making the time out of your lives today to connect, and just send you blessings and pass this over to you, Todd, Eric, and we'd love to hear from you, Nan Marsha, to start off, and then we'll just let this call flow, and just equinox greetings to everybody.
Thank you, family, and a good day. Thank you, family, and good day to you, my relatives. Every time we gather, it's good to see each other's faces and see what's happening in your neck of the woods, as we all witnessing, like what we call the prophecies. They're really expressing themselves fully, it's like almost no surprises. The things, way things are happening and so forth. And so our prayer continues to hold a frequency, a rhythm, consistency, to know that there's a fire being kept in many places. I know many of you keep your fires, keep your ceremonies, gathering the people, doing the beauty that makes a difference in this world, right? And in our lives. And today, as our Nan Hedi says, remembering our ancestors, our spirits of everything that is, has evolution into spirit, but it has come to touch our lives in one way or another. And some, we go memories that we go to, maybe walk along the forest or somewhere, and we see our impact on this earth, right? As we always know. And so finding that connection to spirit and to give something, a gift back, so that's kind of what we are keep holding here. Like, I share with Hedi some pictures of some of the relatives that are gathering here. The toad, which carries the medicine, the Bupo Maritimos, that I just took a picture this morning, today, of it, right on our path, and giant moths, beautiful butterflies, and all kinds of relatives that by making effort, what we did here, planting trees and diversity of vegetables and fruits. And, we created a food forest after almost 20 years, has made a big difference here at Patsiapa. We got deer and ocelots and a big condor the other day here, just standing on our chimney, and they gather up here and they look at themselves in the mirror, right in the glass, right in the windows. And so it's like, wow, all this beauty that by doing something, it creates many other effects. This is one of our teachers, right? It just went off real quick, Eddie. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it so each picture is a standalone image rather than the way I had it to share. So just give me one more minute and then I'll put them up.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, and so we kind of look at, is it memories of the future, like an example that Toad brought us to in relationship to say 1,000 years ago or 1,000 years from now, and we're just in the middle of this awareness that brought us, let's say an example here, Patiapa, from dreams and visions and precise places to put pumps and the Maloka, and we find out now there's a pyramid and ancient burial grounds, and so it's like, wow, what? And then you reflect on our gatherings, when we used to travel with Lacael and others, with just few of us, and then now it's hundreds of thousands of Mexica dance groups, and then others in ceremonies and all of our nations we talked about before in beautiful splendor of recuperating or reclaiming that which is sacred to us. And because it was that rhythm of some elders, some people, they was like, yeah, we keep the language, we keep the ceremonies, and this is our choice, right? To address the universe as Rukushka, Rukushuleo, Rukushka, Rukushka, Rukushya, Rukushka Stemal, Rukushka Kotzihal, Rukushka Kastemal. So we address you, the essence of the heart of heaven and the heart of the earth, that we may come together. This was this morning. It was like an angel flying in this morning, 5:30, and it's every other day, something like that here. And that we are now carrying this rhythm, this frequency that we have developed through our prayers, our ceremonies, our dances, that frequency of harmony and peace, and saying, come this way, can you open the doors to the heart of the sacred fire? So we see the clouds reflecting the beautiful fire, the heart of ourselves opening in the morning to this beauty. And so, yes, good morning, grandfathers. Good morning to all my relations. Thank you for my life. Thank you for the beauty that I see before me. What an incredible gift. All we had to do was get up, wake up, and address it. Say, oh, what a marvelous morning. May that be my reflection of life, each morning another different thing. And then on the path, this guy is like, look, we're greeting the sun, and this is right on top of our house, and there's many of them, and so these guys are like, yes, I can show you the freedom of vision, the participation that you gave me a place to sit and be safe and so forth, and then all the songs that sometimes you hear, some of the videos that I share, the birds, and like this is one of my great teachers, the Colorado, Bupo Colorados, and this one, the Maritimos, Bupo Maritimos, they call them. And this is our keepers of that sacred medicine that reunites us with spirit, like today. What do we have to do to stay close to the spirit? How far do we have to go again to search that connection? So we said to the heart of the earth, that we may become again aware, and as we address ourselves as children of earth, not as this race or that race or male, female, but I'm a child of you, Mother Earth. And may I again be in this oneness with the spirits of millions and millions of other sources that come through and express themselves in so much diverse life forms, from the ocean, from the plants, from those who fly, those who live on the ground, those that we see or we don't see, unknown or known, like the microscopic beings and the micro, wow, what's before us and what's above us and what's within us and what's, it's incredible. And so one of the big things is, okay, can we unite inside that rukush, the essence, what is the essence of any moment where we know that this is all there is. That yesterday, 2 minutes ago, is gone. It's done. It's and the next 2 minutes has not yet expressed themselves, and we don't know how it will be. Maybe the internet goes off and we can't talk anymore, so forth. But here we are, grateful. And in the breath, that we can exchange that breath as we see each other through this space of caring for each other. Say, hey, I just want to say hi. How you doing? How's your neck of the woods? How's your prayer going? And then we see, oh my God, it's been really hard, right? Challenges like over and over and over, and us humans, we continue just to find more ways to fight each other, and not be happy. And oh my goodness, like where does it stop? But we know it's just beginning. So where do we find this connection and this oneness? And so for us, it's like this efforts to say, let's gather for an hour, 2 hours. Let's talk a little bit. Let's pray together. Let's connect. And that's what we do here. Before I came here, we just left a ceremony, beautiful gathering of the Wakshakibats, commitments, lots of prayers, and then we come here and now we see another, and we go back home to another ceremony in the Pop High, right? To into the essence, into the rhythm that we are developing to work with the between the dimensions. Can we be in the spirit place, but also in the physical, and find how we're gonna shape and mold ourselves into beautiful beings? So with this, I wanted to just say that our essence, our rukush, can be united, can be in oneness, so that we don't feel separation. We don't feel that we're by ourselves, that we don't feel we're separate, that what we do doesn't matter. It does. And so what matters is, I would love to hear you, Marcia, Nana, Marcia, for the beauty you sharing all around, in all the years, with the elder circle, with the ceremonies up in Haida and all with the nations and so forth, and that bring you your essence into this evening prayer or morning prayer, or this, fall equinox. So we'll come back to this rukush. And but I know you might have to go, and if your cousin is there, we'd love to say hi, see her. We almost came through all those ceremonies in the reserves, and then the pandemic and all that, so maybe that can happen someday. So much love, and we'll connect back again. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now I'll go ahead. Yes, beautiful to see everybody today, and thank you for taking the time to be on this call. And I'd just like to, reinforce what Tata has said about the importance of those connections, not just to each other, but to everything that we share this earth with, and to find those spaces to express our gratitude in whichever way we can as we go throughout our day. It's not a matter of thinking about it just on special days of the year. It's finding a way to incorporate that into our everyday life, because, just again, if we're awake and we are using our senses, letting them be there for us, there's magic all around us each and every day. And that's what I go looking for. And giving my thanks, and just watching all the birds being busy at the bird feeder today. It's like they were gone for so long, and now they've come back. I think they know too that it's time to start beefing up for the winter months ahead. So they're at the feeder, and I know I'm gonna have to go refill it today now because they've been gone for a couple of months and now they're here again. So I'm glad to see them and glad to help to nourish them for the days ahead. And so coming together in community, I'm still feeling so blessed from having been able to be at ceremonies during the summer and the Washiki Bot ceremony at Deer Mountain. And one of the beautiful things I was gifted during that journey was a bear drum, which again, I thank you, Tata, for blessing it over the fire there on Mukutsi. And so the fall time is a time to really think about, things slowing down again, all the harvest that we are able to do, especially for those who have planted gardens or whatever your efforts have been towards this year. And now is the time to think about what the results of those efforts have been. How did I accomplish it, and recognize what it took to do that and be grateful for that. And the element in this season also is the element of water. So I want to just, take a moment to, I guess, ask everyone to think more about that element as we come towards this equinox, and not just the waters on the earth, not just the waters we drink or we bathe with or that comes out of our tap when we turn it on, but also the waters within us and what we do to nurture those waters. What do we do to take care of those waters? As to what are we eating and drinking now? What kind of activities are we having? So this bear drum called to me, so I had to go get it. And I'm just going to do a simple song, and it's just going to be an expression of gratitude. And as I sing it, I want you to think about the waters within you and the waters, places of water that are precious to you. Where are your sacred places of water that you go to when you want to connect with that element? Is it a spring? Is it a river? Is it the ocean? And just to really bring those forward for yourself as I sing this song for you. Machushoe, hiana hende oe. Machushoe, hiana hende oe. Hiana hanene. Machushoe, hiana hende oe. Hane hea, hane hea. Yana hene oe. Machushoe, yana hene oe. Machushoe, yana hene oe. Yana hanene. Machushoe, yana hene oe. Hane hera, hiana hene oe. Machushoe, hiana hene oe. Machushoe, hiana hene oe. Hiana hanene. Machushoe, yana hene oe. Hane hera, yana hene oe. Machushoe, yana hene oe. Machushoe, yana hene. Yana hanene. Machushoe, yana hene oe. Hane hea, yana hene oe. So I hope the vibrations of that song have flowed through you. It's flowed into your waters in your body today, and that you carry it with you as we go forward into the season of the fall. And I think it was that bear drum really wanted to come forward too, because the bear really reminds us of the medicine of the water, the medicine of the bear, but it's the time of year when, yeah, a lot of nature is getting ready for the winter time. And so I'm seeing the squirrels being really busy. And like I said, the birds are getting themselves fattened up too. And the bears, they're getting ready to go into hibernation. So they're eating everything they can too to help for their supplies that they need to get them through the winter. But they're getting ready to go into hibernation. So I just really want to encourage each and every one of you to find those spaces of time that you can carve out for yourself to be in those spaces of quiet, especially if you can find those places in nature. And really just, being out there to listen, being out there to absorb, being out there to give thanks, and to just, let things flow to you, as things will come to you when you are ready. And I think one of the greatest things I had to learn was about sometimes feeling impatient about, like, why hasn't this happened already? But things take their time, and it takes time for us to be ready to receive certain things too, or to have certain experiences. So, and I find that, yeah, at this stage in life, what I really like about it is that there's no need to be in a hurry anymore. It's like really savoring the moments, savoring the people you get to spend time with, and savoring, yeah, the experiences of life and the gifts that are there for each and every one of us every day. So I give thanks for you being on the call today, and that we can come together in this way. And this is a very special community, and I look forward to when we can be together again in person. Now, go on.
Thank you, Nan Marcia. And
Matios Marsha.
yeah, especially with those waters, like today, the full spiritual essence of all things, as beautiful and small as to us, like a blade of grass. It has a purpose, right? Our purpose is the same. And so as we approach this time of harvest, some of our harvest that maybe Eddie will put it, like all of you, it's like it continues to harvest the love that we put onto the land, the earth. And so we know, all of us right here, is like our efforts, our efforts of love creates this abundance. Here's like every day we harvest something to disperse it through our, what we have here in Patepa and Atitlan, right? And so it took an example and a planting of a tree 15 years ago, and our lemon tree still giving us lemons, hundreds of lemons every year for now 15 years, and the efforts of the Chile is every year. So what is the efforts now that we live in what we planted long ago? So like these gatherings, these prayers, these ceremonies is like planting seeds of hope inside of us, in our humanity, planting these seeds of, like, this is the achote. We use it for paint, for the ceremonies. And so we planted, a bunch of trees like here, and then that was, almost 10 years ago, and they're still alive, and the bees love it. The butterflies, the ground fills with, good compost and soil. And so all these efforts, they mean something. So what I want to share is this Oshlahu, that there is a true essence. And when we connect it and we fall in love with it, it's gonna bring like this the spirit of these waters. Now Marcia was talking about an example. We prayed long ago, 20 some years ago, for a land that will have water, because the Spirit said you have to go to where all that you need will be found there. So wow, 68 ceremonies later, it's like planting a seed. A prayer is a seed. Some seeds will have to go through fire, purification and burning. Some seeds have to be frozen. Some seeds have to fly, to another place, go somewhere else, so they it grounds and then wait for the proper essence, right? The water, the heat of the sun, the radiation of the sun to activate the seeds, the DNA of it, and awaken it, so that now, we have a tree, we have a plant, something we have a relationship with. So here's our, I was so happy because when I left a month ago, the Wachuma, Taita Wachuma, just the little nubs, I'm like, man, that's gonna be 4 or 5 months from now before they blossom. And when I got here, it was like speed, like a sped up. And for a lot of, so 5, 6 years, they have not flowered. And so at this time, they started to flower, it's like, and it's almost like Taita says, I want you to see my glory with the spiritual. My gift to life is this moment of flowering into the spirit, right? And we know what this Taita Wachima can do for us, right? Another one of our teachers. But here it is, our sacred medicine. And so, and I took other pictures of those flowers where, it's like you see the bees, like, I said, oh, good, they were pollinated. With the gift that we planted, now is gift to the bees. Now the bees fertilize those flowers, and now maybe we'll have more flowers next couple months or something. And it's like, wow, when we are aware of our actions with spiritual love, it's like, wow, so grateful. And then for me, it just inspires me to do even more, to enjoy more. So, look at this glory, look at this beautiful, like, wow, those are all like semen, fertilizing to the soul of the earth. And when we partake into the sacrament, those Siemens will fertilize our egg, our soul, and then a new being keeps coming, right? A new rejuvenation of our conscience, expansion of our mind, of our relationship to life, and that's the spiritual journey as well. Like the chiles gives you a whole bunch of medicines, and this one does another. So we start to diverse, and to build the sacred gardens, So we, in this day of harvest, here's another one of our teachers, right? And we have like 3 different species of them, and they're just the gentle beauty, sacredness of them. They're growing, and they show us what they can do for us. That love, that pink, that we got white flowers, pink flowers, and what is it? Pink and yellow, pink, yellow, and white flowers of each species, right? And but we gotta live with them, be able to sit, sleep by them. Then of course we sit up, pray with them, and then we know where that medicine comes from. Like at Deer Mountain, after our efforts, here's the white one, our efforts towards the fire ecology, being part of the sacred fire at Deer Mountain. This fall, we were looking at thousands of wild tobacco, the Shasta tobacco. This is the doctrine tobacco of the Yurok, the Karuk, the Hupas, the Talawas, the Shasta, the Maidu, all bunch of nations. That it doesn't, you have to go high into Mount Shasta or the valleys below to find this sacred tobacco. And now at Deer Mountain, the efforts of our, working with the land, the brush, the mismanagement by others, we're trying to learn how to manage it with the sacred fire, not just the ceremonies, not just the prayer with our tobacco, our pipes, and our efforts or our offerings, but the actual taking care of the land. And that, just the disturbance and the fires that was made, thousands. I mean, we have so much harvest, tens of thousands of seeds. That when we see some of you, we will share those seeds that Hedy and Michelle were packaging the other day. And it was like, again, the seeds of beauty with the spiritual and intentions, right? That Michelle, you didn't have to say nothing. Just by instinct, she's putting the spoon, the seeds into little packages. Just like nothing, like, oh, this is what we do. They've been harvesting blackberries and apples and pears and peaches and oh my goodness, it's just a way of life for like Ishel. So we've seen that when we have look, there's some what are those apples? You're ready for canning and making butter, you know. So what a way to plant seeds of hope. Like we gather. These gatherings can inspire us to not feel by ourselves, not feel separated. And that what you're doing in your neck of the woods, wherever you are, it means incredibly amount, you know. And I'm so grateful and honored. I feel privileged and humble that you have taken your time to be here in prayer. You know, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, sometimes new, sometimes we see each other for a while, but the frequency continues, like that drum. Says, hey, God, can you bless this drum? So sure, like we smite it, but no, this ancestor spirit song came, and I couldn't sing for like, oh, the spirit come out, and then I cried through the song, and the bears came in, and like, wow, what happened? We were sweaty and like crying, and like it's just a song, but it wasn't. It was but now a traveling song for our ancestors, you know, and it was canoe songs that brought us this far, so that we can honor those elders, the spiritual essence today. It took a lot to bring us to this moment. A lot of people, a lot of teachers, a lot of circumstances and experiences and victories and defeats and everything that it takes to shape and mold a beautiful being. And so, in honoring to each other, to bring the blessings like the Haida, to bring their hands up and like, I honor you. And all that you do, it's been hard. And we are just a few to the billions of, the unconscious. And so what if at the time of Tlacaele, nobody just wanted to dance enough? And one teacher taught 1,000. And those 1,000 became teachers of tens of thousands. And those tens of thousands, now we have millions of dancers at Teotihuacan and millions of people ceremony all over the earth, unifying. Like Patricio and us here in New Mexico, gathering the nations and praying. Wow, what a difference it made. So we know that we could do that. And so focusing on the near future, because a lot of us are getting older, circumstances maybe blocking us for traveling again. Let's put these prayers together. Let's go and unify and bring those gatherings. And at first we didn't know that how what an impact it was going to make when we pray like that. So our Confederation of the Maya, we started sharing now. We see our people all over the place, everywhere ceremonies and people, cacao ceremonies and prayers and unification. And what if us here was to be reconciled? Look, remember when we were just 20 people or 12 people, and now there's no room. A lot of our lodges are getting too small. Our arbors, our kivas are too small now. We got to build bigger. We got to build more. We got to train each other. And that's what we do. We're doing. We're training each other, passing on what we have learned. So for each person to consider to put their medicine bundle together, and then with your own flavor, your own voice, your own prayer, your own kind of dance, manifest a beauty around you and for your families, for your neck of the woods. Make it healthy. It will connect to us eventually. The trees will grow and the bushes will come and then hey, hi, oh, Gustavo, you're okay. oh Patricio, oh Yellow Robe, oh okay, here's Blue Horse, and the environment, the ecosystems will gather, will unite. Our spiritual journeys, our spiritual gatherings are uniting like that. We don't see it maybe, but we acknowledge it. And when we realize it, oh, my prayers there, Lucia and Two Rivers and Tim, yes, they will unite with the rest of like today. We're a little early than the fall equinox, but there will be big ceremonies. There will be celebrations. That's what we are choosing for ourselves to say, ah, oh, Creator, may you bless all this beauty. May you bless each one of our relations. May you bring the health of the ecosystem, the trees, the butterflies, the bees, all of what a beauty that we are in relationship with. Acts of love, random acts of kindness, and then focused efforts to say we will create the container for the earth peoples to unite. Like when we were there at the last gathering, Deer Mountain, we said, no, we have the ability to have a nation, earth people's nation. Everything we need is right there. All this with the medicine, the experiences, the people gathering with the strong warriors and the people with wisdom and good health, and then a whole bunch of kids to listen and watch what's happening. To then now they're teaching the language, they're leading the ceremonies. And so, wow, now we are just witnessing that that now the reflections come back and says, yes, that made a difference. The lodge, oh, hi, the lodge up in Hummingbird Hill, constant rhythm, boom, boom, prayers, and the efforts. And so, this is kind of what we wanted to, again, connect. Look at your harvest. Well, I didn't plant anything. I didn't know you. Yes, you did. Acknowledge your harvest. Acknowledge that efforts that you put in, now you are now benefiting with it, and may both become in balance. But we know that acts of love is very prolific. Like we move the earth, we burn the earth a little bit, and then thousands of new, and the partnership, we started to witness a partnership. Like us, our ceremony coming up at Deer Mountain is to find a partnership with the Nahual, with that spiritual force, that spiritual partnership, your soul, your partnership with the soul to become one with it. Because right now we think my body's here, my soul, my spirit, something else. And that I'm separate, I have to find a connection to spirit. It's already there, but we don't have the conscience about it. So now start to acknowledge what is my harvest, because one tobacco seed will turn into 144,000 plants. One tiny little, you can barely even grab it. One effort in the garden, now prolific. One plant, maybe 50, 60 avocados or 50 tomatoes. And so now what? You got too many tomatoes. Reserve them, share them, and the same with these prayers. These prayers are like that. What if our prayer and our rhythm creates the garden? And sometimes they said it takes years. Like this tobacco, we've been there 18 years at Deer Mountain. We haven't seen one plant until the disturbance was made. The natural rhythm of things of deer, elk, bear, scratching the earth, making holes, going through the whole thing. We use the machine because we don't have the elk and the deer, the buffalo anymore, right? So we used the machine, and then the fire came, sure, the lightning and thunders and blah, blah, but we lit those fires, right? The beautiful kids and Jared and others to do that kind of work. That's what they love. And so now, first season, partnership of the fire, the tobacco, and the mullein. Sure, the smoke is all over the west. Man, people, the mullein is growing next to the tobacco, next to where the fire was, next to where the land was disturbed. So what if we become more active with nature? Harvest more. Go sing to the cedar and harvest a little bit, the sage, but don't take everything from one place. Be like the deer that just eat a little bit here over there and so forth. So, this is kind of the awareness to bring today in this prayer, this connection of harvest, to acknowledge what your efforts in this world is, and then to acknowledge that it does have a fruits to collect, a bounty to have, wisdom to carry, knowledge and the words and the efforts to share and to make your neck of the woods beautiful and healthy. So I'm gonna give it back to you, Hetty, and then we'll touch base a little bit. So, Mathiosha, I hope.
Thank you for that. It's such a beautiful time of year, and I'm loving seeing you, Gustavo, in this call calling in from Brazil, and knowing that in your part of the world it's turning to spring, and yeah, just the awareness of that reality, that simultaneous reality that we're living inside of is super powerful. And I'd love to hear from you in a bit, Gustavo, if there's something you'd like to share. But I'd like to invite Patricio, Don Patricio, and see if there's anything you'd like to share with us on this call. It's good to see you. Hope that all is well with you in New Mexico and all that you're holding there. And thank you for being with us today.
Greetings, everyone. It always amazes me that my brother can tune in and know exactly what I want to say, and then because he gets to talk first, gets to say it, and so I'm left with scrambling to try to think of something new to say that he didn't already covered, knowing that he's just went through all my material. It's just like he hit every single point down the line. I'm thinking, my God, this guy is definitely psychic to the max. It's like he just totally tunes in. But then again, I kind of remember that he and I really are more than just acquaintances. We're more than just what the word brother implies. Actually, I almost think that we are what they used to call us, the twins, and our psychic connection is just so incredible that all we have to do is come close to seeing each other, and boom, we connect so powerfully on that level. And I suppose at the end of the game, that this is not just something that he and I are supposed to share. I think that actually this is a phenomena that we all are supposed to share at some point with every member of our community. I mean, why is it that just these two individuals connect so closely and so tightly that their thoughts almost are in sync, and one person says exactly what the other person is thinking? I believe that by working together, doing ceremony together, just spending time together, and having a common goal, a common thought, a common purpose in life actually forms this kind of connection. In the beginning, Eric and I agreed that there was something that needed to be done. We accepted the challenge of bringing a new spirituality into this world, and we thought about what process was necessary to do this. And we talked about many things, and one of the things that we agreed upon was that we were going to try to revive ceremonies. We were going to bring ceremonies back to the people. We were going to share ceremonies with everyone who was willing to listen or to want to connect, because it is my opinion, and I'm sure my brother agrees, that ceremonies are the glue that holds societies together. And so it is these things that bring us together. And so here in my corner of the world, or as Eric would say, only he doesn't say it this way because I have to be slightly different. In my neck of the desert, instead of my neck of the woods, in my neck of the desert, I strive to bring the people that are around me, the people that have that mindset that there is more to life than just the material world, that there is, in fact, a spirituality, and that there should be a society and a culture that has spirituality as a very, very strong component, not just a component, but a very, very strong component. Maybe even it should be 50% of that component. So, after all, I mean, human beings, and this is again another Patricioism, that we are human. That implies that we are spirit and material. Hu for spirit, man for material. We are both simultaneously in this world, and we have to remember that. We have to keep living that way if we're going to enjoy the fullness of our heritage, which is humanness. And that word humanness, I'm going to say that is actually in process. Humans are not complete. Not right now. You are not a complete human as you stand today. My grandparents were different from me. My great grandchildren are different from me. There is an evolution in humanity itself. The perfect human did not exist in 1950. The perfect human did not exist in 1980. The perfect human did not exist in 2012. The perfect human is still in process and will be for the rest of time, because circumstances are changing, the environment is changing, we are changing the environment, we have to change to fit the changes that we're making. So humanity itself is in process, and we are not the crown of creation at this moment in time. This is yet to be defined. It moves forward. And even societies, we talk about, we have this society, and we do these dances, and we do these songs, and we have these ceremonies, and we have this way of interacting with each other. That is a part of being a human, and a part and parcel of being humanity. That too is in process. We are an evolving entity, evolving with the circumstances that surround us. We evolve with the environment, and then we evolve the environment as we evolve. It's no denying that human beings have made a change in the world, and there's no denying that the world will make a change in us. So it is a process of coming to grips with just exactly where do we find this balance? Where do we find the balance of evolution? Because if we cling too much to the past and we try to fit the ways of our ancestors into the world today, it's going to be a bad fit. It's like trying to put on the clothes that you wore in high school. They just don't fit. And if you're going to try and put on the clothes of the future, they probably won't look right today, because people say, where in the world did you get those whacked out clothes? They just don't, they look completely out of place. Well, it's because they are. This is the way things are. We try to make balance in the moment that we exist, and we find that balance. And of course, again, knowing full well, and even though that's in process too, knowing full well that we are both manifest and we are spirit. So we have to find that balance, and we also have to keep that in mind. This is, I guess, the message I wanted to share. I think about just before every one of these calls is like, what great message am I going to bring to the meeting today? And of course, then I sit here and I listen to that great message being told by my brother, and I'm like, doggone him. How does he do that? How does he manage to say all those wonderful things that I have just thinking about and getting that across? But I hope that maybe as a partnership, because we are a partnership. He and I and you and I, we are all partners in this process we call life, and the process of creating a humanity and a society that is worth living in. We really have to keep that in mind, that we really have to create a society worth living in. And as my brother says, every little effort counts. Every little tiny seed we plant is an important step in creating that society. But we must not become disappointed or disillusioned that the changes we are making are not enough, because the process is an evolution. It is not we are not going to make it the way it was when our ancestors were alive, and the process that we have now is not, or the world we have now is not the world that our future will see. But hopefully the idea that we are human, and as humans we are a a, a, a process in flux, we can move that forward, and so that the future generations won't try to copy us, and the future generations will also look forward to creating a better world than they live in today. Thank you, everyone, for giving me the opportunity to connect with you again. I really love these meetings. You know, you are my distant family. You know, everybody, one of us have family that lives right next to us and like that, and we have our long distance relatives that we visit less often, but it is always a joy to visit with you. And it's good to see you. It's good to maintain some level of connection. Someday I will actually drive out there and I will knock on your door and bother you, bother you for lunch and dinner and that sort of stuff. But right now, all I can say is good to see you, and I look forward to our next one. Blessings and beauty. I've spoken.
Thank you, Patricio, my brother, and Gustavo. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. A little challenging to speak after a powerful talk like this. First of all, I'd like to apologize myself for not being fully present here from the beginning. I had a meeting with some friends and it took a little longer than I expected. So I was coming home but listening to you, watching on my cell phone. It's really good to be here. I'm already feeling nourished just by being around you and listening to you and being inspired with your words. Today, I'm here in São Paulo, Brazil, which is southeast of Brazil. It's a really beautiful sunny day. We already feel spring coming, so all the trees are getting greener, some flowers coming up, showing up. So it's really a good moment of, I feel myself blossoming, you know. And I had a really beautiful experience last month at your mountain. I had the opportunity to meet in person Hedy, Tata Eric, Raquel, Marcia, Tim, Blue Horse. Good to see you again, and it's good to meet those who I don't know in person. And then I just wanted to stay connected and to be close to you. It's really challenging. It's a little challenging to come back after such a powerful experience as we had, and trying to follow the instructions and to be fully connected. And but I think I'm kind of doing myself well here, despite the challenges of living in a big city and all the noise and all the distractions. But I'm doing my best to stay focused and to be close to Spirit.
Gustavo, would you share what it's like in Brazil right now? I'd be super curious to know, like, as here in the north, the trees are starting to change colors. And I know Brazil is also more tropical, so it's maybe not as extreme, maybe depending on where you are. But yeah, I would love just to hear what the land is like at this time, if you would be willing.
Yeah, sure. We actually don't have such a cold weather here. So it doesn't snow, it's not so cold, but it gets cold, and the trees start to lose its color, and all the leaves on the ground. And at this moment, it's starting to rain a little bit more, and it's getting warmer. So today is a really hot day, and we can see the trees are getting greener and some flowers already coming up. Here we have the harvest is all year, so it's not like only doing spring or summer. It's like all year we have a good harvest. But it's really different the way it feels when it comes to spring, because we can feel more the energy of nature, the animals. We have like hundreds and thousands of birds, so we can listen to the birds and the bees, and it gets really colorful. And it's already nature is already expressing itself through the trees and the plants and the flowers and the bees and the birds, and people also start to flourish as well, right? So here we find a good moment to feel this energy of spring coming.
Thank you, Gustavo. Yeah, it was so beautiful to see our ceremonies come through at Deer Mountain, and like what the workshop Kibats, it talks about, our actions of how we are weaving every conscious moment we have. Each moment of conscious, and then it acts like, make a sound or paint or write. It adds to the web of life. So like Patricia said, yes, we're in that evolution, and that's kind of like, okay, back engineer what we want the world to be, just at least for us right now. And we know that, like says Michelle, we took the land, we're working on this, and then maybe she would have to get a machine to make the fire breaks, or that, with gas or something, torch the big piles, that yet we saw the results, right? Our knowledge becomes more aware what we got to do to the land, but then we take the love efforts to make it happen. And this is where, we want to inspire to gather up, right? To hold it together, to connect, to ask. At least me, I ask, because I don't know. Creator, please, guide me, show me. Can I have some understanding a little bit? And of course, we go and explore, and some work, some don't, But there's constant after a little while that, yes, the reflection of this. Wow, this was our gift back. It's like, wow, like here we have like, I don't know, a couple hundred avocado trees, different species, and it's like, now what are we gonna do with so many avocados, right? So it's like, but they're there, so the squirrels, the deer, the wild, like turkey, we never seen them before. Now they're here, like wild pheasants, giant pheasants, and then the boa the other day, because more mice come and squirrels. Now we have boas here, and there's 4 or 5 different species of snakes. I'm like, where did all this come from? It's like, so one follows the other, and like, hey, who made the invitation at Deer Mountain? A pond, separate from all the creeks and everything. Now we got fish in it. All right, raise your hand, whoever put the fish in the pond. Nobody did. So where were they? Were they in the ground? And like they said, the seed bank is waiting for us for 100 years, waiting for the proper conditions of everything, like the tobacco and the mullet, right? And now we got fish in this pond. Like, where did that come from? That was like, wait a minute. We could set plants or something, you know. And so before we left, we took some cattails, the little corn. What do you call it? Called the tails, the brown part of the, you know,
Duff.
you move them around. Huh?
The cattail duff.
Yeah, those are seeds.
Yeah.
So I left 2 weeks ago. We spread them in the pond. I'm like, oh, beautiful. This is my church. That's a church for me. That I want to see the reflection of the clouds. I want to pray there. I want to hear that water. I want to see the life force come into that pond. It was just earth around it now. 2 weeks later, Hedy sent me pictures, and the cattails are about foot to almost 1.5 feet tall. A whole bunch of them, like 2 weeks. Amazing. So the prolifics of the gift of our efforts is immense. Now, the other day we drove up there and there was a blue heron, and the frogs start to come, and nighthawks, you know, and thousands of dragonflies, right? And the nighthawks, and then she's going right by us, and it's like, wow, what an incredible show, right? We didn't need no more nature TV or nothing, you know. It was right there. We're sitting, we're enjoying this, and then we're also getting beaten and biting and chased by yellow jackets, hornets, and wasps. It's all the same. Like, okay, man, you know, this world is full, right? So I'm like, oh, wow. But the bears come, the deers are there now, you know, and so forth, you know. And the same as here. Nobody thought we had like minks, the brown minks, like little, you know, road runners. And it's like, where do these people come from? They're just coming around, like going from one place to another. Now we have a deer here, we rescue, and we have bucks and more deer coming down. And it's like, wow. So this fall is, yes, it's harvest and it's springtime over there, and there's places where they need our help, you know, to go and clean up, to go and be guerrilla seed throwers, right? You can't do it. Well, no, we're gonna throw seeds all over the place, you know, plant and put trees here and there and so forth, you know. And like for us, is the spiritual seeds, like this gathering, to continue taking care of our garden, each other, you know, and maybe, you know, again, like we gather up, and then some of you have come to Deer Mount. Wow, what an incredible gift to us has been. And many of you have been here at Patiapa. The same thing is like, wow, the vibrancy, the rejuvenation, the reconnection, the knowing that there are places like that on the Mother Earth still that we got to take care of. And you'll find like the desert areas. Oh man, I fell in love with New Mexico. I wanted to move there. It's beautiful, incredible, right? And so far we go to Haida. I wanted to buy an island up there because it was, wow, what a way to live up here, right? And to live here and there. So, but the beauty needs our help. So how can we connect? How do we gather? So we've been training into going into the other dimensions. Corre de Rukush. There we can talk. You know, after our struggles and our readaptation of our physical relationship to this world and the new rules of soul, like the spiritual world, then we're like, oh, but maybe now I can take something back to this world. Or maybe we're taking something from this world into that one. They see us, they feel us. This place needs help. Our humanity needs help. So the medicine ceremonies are still readapting into what we're going to need to do together. So this is one of them. Gather up, feel each other, see each other. So I know Marcia, your cousin, is there, and I just want to jump in to invite her because there's another powerhouse women like Raquel, Hetty, you know, and Hetty, Vanessa, Mariposa, beautiful Mariposa in New York, and Blue Horse, and Lucia, and Two Rivers, and the rest of our beautiful family. It's like, wow, what we're holding is an incredible seed bank. Like we shared early, on the land, I found out on every place you go, the desert is there's palm trees waiting to be grown. There's birds of paradise to grow out of that desert, but they're waiting for the proper conditions, more rain, more shade, blah blah blah. So now you, my relatives, have that seed bank. So thank you, and I'll be back again. Love you.
Yalarov, can I invite you to share with us today? Good to see you, brother. Good to see all of you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm just so overwhelmed. I was just sitting here. If I was asked to speak, what would I even speak about? Because it's life has been so full and full in ceremony and just so many experiences. It's been intense. We 2 weeks ago we finished up with our Vision Quest ceremony. 2 women were up there on the mountain, and I was surprised that it even happened. And because of the fires that are happening all over the place, and different other conditions. But we went ahead, and it was really, really hectic bringing it together. I think all of us were just a little fried, but then when the camp came together, everything just sort of started clicking. And that prayer was real. I mean, to get to that point, that prayer had to be really, really strong. And even thinking of the 2 women that were going up on the hill, we're kind of going, God, with this intensity going on, if they last a day or 2 up there, because the smoke, the air was all smoky, it was hectic coming together and bringing it together, but the prayer was strong. It's kind of like when things get that intense, we have to fall back on just having that strong prayer to the Creator to carry us through. And then, I just noticed how things started shifting. And our camp was at the fork of there's the Metolius River and a creek called Candle Creek, where they came together, and that's where our camp was. So like we were surrounded just by this beautiful sound of the waters. And the water there is so clear and so clean. And so it just kind of like canceled all the noise of this world. And so all you could hear was just the waters. And you'd look up in the sky and you'd see the smoky sky, and you kind of going, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? And the prayers just kept happening. And we had our lodges, and we were all helping each other. We ate really, really good food the whole time. And then at some point, the skies all cleared up. We could see grandmother. And then on the last hour, as we were closing the circle, everybody was all packed up, ready to go. And Sweet Medicine was smoking her chanupa. We started getting this gentle rain. And so we all got in our vehicles, and then it just downpoured. And it was as we drove away. And it was just the blessing of this was the right thing to do. In our minds, it was kind of like, oh no, this is crazy. Why would we ever want to go through this stuff? But, and I asked myself that too, I hear these, oh yeah, you're going to come down to Deer Mountain and do these ceremonies. And I kind of go, oh no, I don't think so. But, then I just go, yeah, I really want to. And so I really find this is such a rich life to live. And yesterday we built a new lodge here because every year or two we have to rebuild our lodge here because it gets worn out. And we just had so many people helping us, and then we had a really good sweat after that. And so I feel really nourished in my life. I feel this is a really special time to be alive. It's not an easy time because there's a intensity in this world. If you watch any news or anything like that, it's just kind of like, oh my God, oh, what is going on? And I just in ceremony, I'm just reminded that, I'm a spirit, I'm a soul. And that what is happening here in this world, it is showing me, just to be that light, to be that clarity, to be just that beautiful soul. Because when I look inside of myself, I see that incredible, brilliant star, that we all are. And I also notice when I look in the mirror, I see this body that's getting older, but I relate more to just being that brilliance and embracing that embracing that on this walk, and trusting that what needs to happen, what will be, that's where I want to walk. So I feel really blessed to have this life, as crazy as it can be at times, and even how much I resist. But then I just tune into that breath, tune inside of myself, listen to the waters flowing around, and take a step forward. So I guess my message today is just that, we are so lucky to be alive at this time, that in this time of transition of the earth, as as hard as it is, that light that we are, that is our full potential, is so brilliant, is so there, is so present, and that we can help each other and remind each other that when people come and they're, yesterday in the lodge, just hearing people's story, one person getting divorced, another person, their grandma had just passed, and she spent the last few days with that transitioning of her grandma, and just hearing some of the prayers of different people, just it's life-changing, to share our stories, to share what we're going through, and to remind each other, that just how incredible our lives are. I also, with a few people talking about the harvest, and I'm really proud of Zincala this year because we finally got our greenhouse together, and she's just been pulling so many incredible vegetables out of there. And our pear tree is just going bonkers. So we're just I'm eating as many pears as I possibly can. I love them. And so this has really been a great time. And so really thank you all for sharing your stories. And just for being present. And we are lucky. We're lucky to be alive. So love you guys. Oh.
Thank you, Yellow Robe, and yeah, beautiful, beautiful. We still have a date coming up there. Marcia.
Marcia, you do know that you're muted, right?
It's like life right now. Having patience with not knowing how to get the thing to unmute.
There. Am I unmuted now?
You are. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you wanted to hear a few words from my cousin who's getting ready to do travels again. She's heading back east soon. So this is my cousin Crystal. So we're first cousins. Our her dad and my mom were brother and sister. So
yeah. Hello, everybody. Sego Seguego. My name is Crystal Farmer, and I'm a Turtle Clan from Mohawk, and I'm a Mohawk from the Six Nations of the Grand River area in Ontario. So I'm just so overwhelmed right now of listening to you talk and, hearing your words, and it's inspiring, and I'm so appreciative of it. I just wanted to say a quick thank you for that. And I'm hoping to hear more of these with Marcia. She's going to share some things with me and email me some information, and I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, blessings to all of you, and Nyawagoa to be part of this just now and to be able to take in a little bit of your wisdom. Nyawa.
yeah, good. Thanks. Thanks, Crystal. And I just wanted to say too, this time the equinox on Saturday, I'll actually be attending a Mayan fire ceremony on the Six Nations Reserve. Taught Victor Lopez, who actually was a student of Tata Polo. He will be leading a Mayan fire ceremony there. So I'm looking forward to be doing that in honor of the equinox. And I hope that each and every one of you find your own beautiful way to honor this time of year. Nyawagoa.
God, thank you for sharing that,
So
Maya.
nervous.
Marcia.
You do the best
Yeah.
you can, I guess.
If you could, please tell Victor que le mando saludos, I send my greetings. Yeah, I haven't seen him in a lot of years. So Eddie, speak back to you, or Marcia, Raquel.
Okay, ready now.
So is that you were asking for me and Nan Raquel to share? Is that what you? Okay, thank you. Hang on just a second. Maybe we can start with Nan Raquel, and I just want to make sure Ishel knows that I'm going to be speaking and can be quiet in the background.
No small feat. Oh my goodness. Well, just greetings, everyone. And thank you so much to each one of you who have shared and who are connected with us in spirit and just this web of life. Yeah, I don't try to plan what to share. I just let it flow. And there's so many things that have been said that remind me of the just like weaving in not even memories, but the essence of ceremonial gifts, the things that have come through ceremonial process and the essence after days and days of ceremony, connection with the water and the seeds and time. And so much of your shares have been bringing that up for me. And it reminds me of this deep process, which is essentially life as ceremony. And that truth that it becomes every step is a preparation and an integration if you're really present, if you're really with it. And, you know, Tata shared about the seeds of the cattails sprouting so fast and the seeds of the tobacco taking years and not seeing a sign of them for over a decade, and how it's our human mind that corrupts corrupts us essentially a lot. It corrupts our sense of rightness in the fact that seeds might take that long. Seeds might be that fast, and that it's the same in us, and to just appreciate the cultivation of what it takes to sprout, to flower, to grow, to give of yourself in this life, and to give away, to pass away in versions of yourself, and eventually this body, you know, this vessel that's holding each one of us in essence, because this is not me. I'm so grateful to have this body, to be a woman, to be named Raquel, to be here and now. Thank you for all the ways that you are present, and may we meet again in many forms and recognize each other through that essence. And this other deep reflection of integration that came through around the waters was, you know, just these tears, they're encoded with so much, this blood, everything. And it's in the way that we embody ourselves that in a moment, you know, we can't see it, we can feel it, and we definitely project it out. But in a moment, the thoughts that we hold transform even the structures that our tears create, or that our blood creates, or that which we create in the water around us, the water within each one of you. And it's so profound to understand this spiritually and to study this scientifically. I mean, science is interesting to me, you know, that place of how much we, in our own state of being, can conduct for each other the release of serotonin and the release of many things that really can be that gentleness to our waters. And sometimes that's appreciating that it's muddy. You know, sitting with some Buddhist friends last night, and we were really talking about that teaching of no mud, no lotus. And they were beautifully saying, God, Raquel, you've just had like mud smeared all over you for so long. And it's so awesome. And celebrating that we don't come into ourselves without being with that cacophony of all the elements mixing. You know, what is mud in the water? It's the movement, it's things being stirred up from all that is anchored, and it's the invitation to be really, really known in yourself, that you can stand, you can be, and things will transform. And I feel like we're all on this journey right now, and we always are, but especially in this world, feels like I can't even go to the grocery store without being tasked with another opportunity to maintain energy and beauty way, to maintain integrity in being, to be also somebody who isn't consenting to things that aren't life-giving. Sometimes that's just in the interaction we have with others. And I'm really feeling that. The more that I honor that and show up as much as I can in every moment, no matter what's on my plate, no matter how many piles of mud and muck and things to traverse in this world, I am just overwhelmed with gratitude. And I'm overwhelmed with other things too, but I try to like scale back and stay fully whelmed so I can hold on to that gratitude, that love, and that grace, and my own medicine. And it's not because I'm perfect. It's because I just really honor the instructions and what a ceremony has revealed over time and what I've witnessed in elders and children. And it compels me, you know. In this conversation last night, there was this question, like, what did it take for you to surrender finally to this path and to this way of being? And I was like, wow, I don't think I ever surrendered. I fought. And then at one point, my consciousness fulfilled some tasks I needed to do, and I was able to bow, to kiss it, to make everything that is a challenge this sacred opportunity. And it continues to work me. And it was actually the first time I had said those words, and it like sent chills through my own body. Like, I didn't surrender. I didn't give up. I appreciated all that it took for me to feel all of it and to have reverence for the opportunities we have through challenge, through inspiration. Sometimes we don't have hardship in our life, and that's actually our karma. Our karma is to have privilege and to still find inspiration and to still create the sacred in life. And it doesn't matter what our story is. It really doesn't. We're human beings, and I'm just really appreciating that we have the capacity to transform in every moment, and every day is a new day, and we can't recover time. That's another thing that Eric said is about time. You know, we can't recover time. And one of the most beautiful teachings from one of my early grandmother teachers, Sumbam Fusume, on grief ritual and death ritual, was around that, how we can't recover time, and sometimes we can't even have reconciliation with those that have violated us. To, you know, that's not going to buy our peace. Our peace is bowing to all that we learned, bowing to every opportunity, appreciating that we're aware of time in a different way, that we can't make up that time, but we can now, in this moment, be in the fullness of this moment, appreciate the time we have, and give thanks, you know, even in our aging bodies. It's like, oh my gosh, it's such a privilege to get old. Don't forget that. Like, it's a privilege. It's important to find whatever it takes to take nothing for granted. And I was tested this week, and it's kind of funny because I want to speak it here in front of you, Yellow Robe, because I was so overwhelmed with my tree expense. I was like, oh my God, of all the things on my path, is this the thing that's going to make me lose my grace? You know? And then I was like, oh, it's wood for the lodge at Hummingbird Hill. And this thing that became this overwhelming stress and grief too, because I love these trees. It just totally changed. It became a ceremonial offering. And the flooding of gratitude to know that I can even address things that might look like, you know, financial overwhelm and just attachment to trees. I'm like, want to chain myself to the trees while they cut them down, right? Like, no, don't take it. But it needs to come down. And I needed this opportunity again to find that there's offering in everything. And wow, it just gave me such peace and fullness of being to walk in total grace and appreciation and patience and willingness, even in this task of taking down trees. And if I put it in the context of everything being a preparation, everything being a present moment of this path, this sacred life, and we talk about ceremony and ritual, but the sacred is sacred. You don't have to hold an indigenous lineage to be a human. you know, and it's all there rooted in us. And so many of these things are just coming into a new lens for me this year around what it even means to be in this Earth People's United lineage. And I'm so committed to it. And at the same time, as much as I may show up in service or as a leader at times, I'm a student, and I'm learning, and I'm growing. And I just really pray for so many moons for us to be able to do that for each other. And no matter how long our paths may be in this life, that they're full with a knowing of connection to this center and to this sacred, to the ceremonies we've shared, to the talks, to the moments, to whatever medicine in its fullest sweetness and the bitterness that helps us digest that which no longer serves us. All of those things. It's just here for us to truly embrace, be grateful for. So this is where I'm at as I'm, you know, standing in this day and acknowledging the alignment with the Mayan calendar, the Tokyo, and this day of Oshlahu and this time of, you know, everything has duality. This could be the fullest expression of insanity and madness, right? Not keeping our breath and our minds clear. And it's also the place where we can take our breath and our embodiment and all that our ancestors gave us in this life now to breathe life, to clear ourselves, to just let wind carry our thoughts and inspirations and release our sorrows and our burdens and give us the patience it takes to be touched by that guiding wind as well. So those are lots of reflections that came out as they did. And thank you for being on this path with each other, blessing my life, and for just who you are and where you're at and where you've come from, and just so many blessings to your home. And yeah, just in a deep prayer and in a deep process of preparation for the ceremonies to come to Deer Mountain next week. So stay connected, and yeah, just we'll be sharing a lot with the recording that goes out from this call. So I just want to say, really tune in there as we share our hearts and minds and things that are coming up in the future for us to just stay connected. Yeah, so many blessings, and thank you to you, Eric, and to you, Nanhedi, and to each one of you. Just, I am so grateful, really, truly, for all the blessings and all the purifications and all the teachings and the opportunity to love, because it's hard in this world and it's brave. It's one of the most incredible things we can do is stay in love. So yeah, stay there, work there, let everything that makes you wobble away from there just be this opportunity to inform you how to hold it more. And thank you for doing that for me. Matios. Wow.
Yeah, wow. Hey, there's Sweetie. And thank you, Raquel.
And now you can talk.
I just finished my class and I got to get in the car and head 3 hours to teach another class. I love all of you. It's good to see your faces. And I'm just hearing just a few words there, but I'm sending my love. I miss you all, and I hope to see you soon. So I'm sending you the breath of this beautiful rose. Mm.
Safe travels. Yeah, so this is wow, yes, the intense experiences of tearing us up and putting us together and learning to navigate. And it's like you're doing it, Raquel. I know many of you the same way with so many things going on. And still, choosing to love beyond our personal needs. And sometimes, yeah, it's hard even to feel those personal needs. Our world is just, we have an opportunity of time, and all goes well, we can set something in the memory of this exchange with this world and what we are doing or what we have done or what the capabilities of what we can do, so knowing that, yes, we did some fire breaks and all that, and then right away we saw the elk, a prayer came through. Elk came through the land, there's been prayers for a long time, and they were there. So we know that somebody's listening, somebody's hearing, and then somebody's appreciating what we do. So thank you, Raquel, for day in and day out. And you two had it's like, wow, you two has been like pillars of so much incredible things, especially in my life, to put up with me and put up with all the things that we gotta keep and frequencies, that others have done. Now is our turn, to keep encouraging each other, supporting each other, seeing that, yeah, we're part of this breath. So, Matios, show it.
Matias, I'm having a very similar experience as Patricio, that my words, my share is already being spoken, and I love that. It's such a beautiful confirmation, and so much beauty has been shared already. But what's really standing out for me is just that the knowingness, like with the example of the tobacco, for instance, of how all the seeds are just there. They're in the ground, they're in us. And we just, it's our work to keep trying to create the conditions to bring forward the flourishing and the sprouting and the growing of those things that we want in our lives. And so, and just also the preciousness and the fleeting beauty, like the example of the Taita Wachuma, the San Pedro cactus flower, and particularly like this is the first time that they flowered at Patsiapa, and it's been years in the making, years of like, I mean, in Guatemala has rain and sun and beauty and all the tending and all the good things, and yet whatever reason right now made those ripe conditions. But it's what's so incredible to me is all of that, and that flower lasts like one night in its pure like essence, and then it doesn't take long for it to close back up and fall off. And so those moments when we get to experience that beauty, to really be with that, and fully be present, and how the echo of that same message, how much it can take to get to that moment. And I'm also aware, as we're harvesting here, and I know many places on the West Coast had this like super bloom year, and I kept hearing the messages early in the spring of like, that also brings all these seeds, right? And we may come back to these same places next year and there may be no tobacco again. I don't know. But right now I'm gathering the seeds, and right now I'm seeing every time we touch those plants and thousands of seeds are being scattered on the earth. Like, I mean, there are billions of tobacco seeds spilling onto the earth just in our little section of, of the earth this year. And this tobacco is the kind of tobacco that, like, Eric's first teacher, one of his first teachers, Calvin Rube, asked that particular tobacco be the one that was used. And that's what's growing on our land, like just the way things get woven. And I don't know, that's what, 30, 40 years later that we're seeing this happen. And so yeah, just how precious that all is, just how precious, and just being witness and being able to take it in, like fully take it in and receive the beauty and the medicine in the moments. And then we have to let it go also, right? Just like take it in and then let the flower fall off and starts the whole process again. It's just, wow, very profound to me. Yeah, so I don't feel like I have a whole lot more to share. Just the echoing of all of this. I feel incredibly grateful as well, and just, yeah, this time of year and the harvest is just incredible, and it's just like a tiny piece of receiving that abundance, and hopefully in ways that can share it. Just grateful for each of our paths and all that we bring together when we come together like this. All those elders that have sat with us and many that are gone now. And again, just to really appreciate that preciousness of life and the moments that we get. And I'm grateful to each one of you for taking your time today, for those that have shared on this call, for all that's lives inside of all of my relatives here, and the medicine that you've brought to my life, and the hope that brings, and the beautiful medicine of that's brought to the children and our daughter Ishel. This Wakshkibat's ceremony was so beautiful, because I don't know who passed her striker, but Blue Horse and Raquel and Kirana were like showing her how to do it, and she ended up lighting the fire for us. And wow, what a beautiful moment of precious, like, amazingness to witness that. And she was so like innocently and like, oh, I did that, and that it was so beautiful, so beautiful, and all that it took to get to that moment, and just like that pride of, wow, I did that, that she came away from that feeling, and just so much beauty. Tremendously grateful, and yeah, just want to always share my love and send my love to each one of you. So thank you, Anaho.
Thank you, Hedy, Nana Hedy. And wow, yeah, that was a moment in my life too, that seeing other beautiful moments, that they will stand out in somebody. I know on mine, like, wow. And so, what else is waiting or hidden inside of us? The 100-year seed bank. What? How does it? What do we have to do? What does it take to activate the fires? In us as a human. And so we've seen that like in New Mexico. What did it took to like have, I think at Chimayo when you came the first ceremony there, it was like 700 people plus. Well, the dances from the pueblos, the arrow dance from Tesuque, the white buffalo dance from Nambe, 7 chanupas from different nations of the Oneida and Dakota, Cree and others, in the 7 Mexica groups and so forth. I mean, wow. And Patricia and me, we were coming out of a ayahuasca ceremony from Santa Fe, driving. And I think it was a crazy music, some kind of rock and roll thing. And all of a sudden this bishop come in like, hey, shut that thing off. We have to work with the Bella Khabsi. What the heck are you talking about? We're going off back home to Albuquerque and gather the nations, gather the people, right? And boom, we did it. And little did we know that the spirit of Chimayo later told me to go to Esquipulas, where the whole spirit came. This is how like the years go by. and what we do, right? So the ceremonies at Chimayo, pray for the people, pray for all, even people with turbans and came, in the alliances of people gathering to pray. Then at Esquipulas, Panchamaya, Quicheca, Chiquel, Quechí, people from the United States, prayers at Esquipulas, the sacred ground that the Black Christ came from the Maya in the 1500s or 1600s to Chimayo from Guatemala, from Copán, where the stelas of prophecy are. Boom, ceremony, say, oh, take these ashes back to Chimayo, or another ceremony. And then take these 4 trips we did. Chimayo, Esquipulas. 20 some years later, Katie is going through the birth process. And we got complications. We have a problem. 50 hours later, boom, we're going to lose both of them. So Kirana calls the people here in Guatemala and they say, oh, can you do a prayer for us, please? Katie's having a hard time and we're not focusing with her. We're standing there. And they say, yeah, we'll do a prayer for you. And guess where they are? At Esquipulas. What a coincidence, right? And so we're going through the birth process now. They're doing ceremonies at Esquipulas, and this baby is born. I'm holding this baby, and this blood comes out. They're going to bleed to death. Boom, the doctors and everything, dude, you got to stop the bleeding, got to separate them, blah, blah, boom, boom, boom. I was like, whoa, this was intense. So later we find out, well, she was born on January 15th, the day of the Black Christ, the day with thousands of pilgrims go to Chimayo and millions go to Esquipulas. So 20 some years later, those prayers we did at Chimayo and Esquipulas for the land, for the earth, for the people, we were blessed with this child. It's like, wow. Imagine your actions today, your prayers right now, your intentions to share something. 20 years later, you'll come together. It's like, oh my God, what if we wouldn't have done that? Ayahuasca showed us what we had to do. And we did it. And then we didn't lose them. We have a child, this beautiful earth spirit child that is under the shadow of the Black Christ. That faith of people to heal, to transform, to continue this beautiful prayers. And then Michelle's growing up with this. Like the second hand to be in prayer and call direction. Even first time she blew the conch shell. Call the spirit. She was so proud of it. Every direction, she was right there next to us and pray. This is an 8-year-old feeling that is natural. That we don't have to convince, we don't have to negate or any other shape or form, but just to show what can be done, what can hold. And then we had eagles flying over us and deer come right by us. And the rainbow, first open prayer, it's going to be so hot and stuff, but it's raining. We have a rainbow for the sunrise. Wow. And then we had other things come up and it's like, this is magical. We can't make this stuff up, right? And so here is our covenants to life and our prayer. So this rhythm. So today, balance and harmony, coming up to the fall, the planetary clocks, that is true time. That we maybe all of us connect, go pray in a way to have balance to our lives, to our world, and make covenants, not to no human, but if as you wish, covenants to spirit, covenants to this Mother Earth, covenants to ourselves, to each other, to yourself. You say, I'm making the commitment to myself to share this, to say that, to stand here, to do that, to live through this. And as Raquel and others know, it's like, wow, it's not easy. And Eddie, Vanessa, not easy. And so, but we see that the beauty now, like Michelle, after she lit that fire, they're holding it. She got kissed, so she's gonna have a scar, kiss from that fire. Her first fire, Wakshaki Butts, because it has power. Little, little scar now. Because now we know it's not just all fun and games. There's an essence, there's a consciousness, there's a power there. And that's what we were trying to focus and keep, because we also seen that up at Haida in different nations where we've been. To have the ayahuasqueros come from Colombia and dance with the Nambe Pueblo and the Apache and other people to, wow, bring that essence through these fires, unify the people. And that is in our consciousness that we've done that, and that those kivas can be filled up, right? They're too small. Our maloca here is too small. But this is our effort. So celebrating you, grateful for you, for the ceremonies we share, and now, preparing for the fire keepers coming up. I think Blue Horse, you're coming up, right? To next week, and a few others to be with this medicine that usually, wham, you can't even function. You're like numb. You're out of your body, and that's it. But the learning, to learn to be a navigator, work between dimensions, bring those prayers to something that will work here in our world through our consciousness, through our sacrifice, through our efforts, through those prayers is immense. To see you, Blue Horse, and others, working those fires and sheltering, shielding those who are working to bring that prayer alive. Wow. And then Chris and Forrest and Alfie and others to working now through the training, so that sure, we're feeling it and we're barely functioning. Our body doesn't function like that, but now we're finding a way to hold that and then make that prayer, so that whenever we go anywhere, we can bring those essence through the Rukush. Rukush Kach, we know it means the heart and the essence of the sky, the heart of heaven. Rukush live, the earth, the spirits. Come on, Katampe, come in this way and receive my gifts. Receive this vessel that I'm offering to you, so that the fire and the water and the earth and the air will become one essence within ourselves. And what that happens? Palpitation of spirit. So what we're going to discover with you, what's going to be activated when you are present with those fires, and you go through the rites to pass. With Patricia, we have a lot of stories. My first 9 fires was over there in New Mexico, and wow, talk about trying to manifest what you've learned through the Confederation of the Maya here with Apollo and others, to like, wow, let's travel now and bring this all around the earth. And wow, look at this now. What an incredible journey. And so to see, now stories of the Cañoncito band, of the Navajo people there, what happened, the manifestations of our fires over the sand paintings and the prayers that it went with those Dene songs. And wow, it's like, oh goodness. But we got to do it. We have to unify. We have to present ourselves to that circle. And now we have Girmount, we have Patiapa, we have Akshikai down in Santa Ynez Harbor, and there's a kiva there with Patricia waiting for our pilgrimage someday to Hummingbird Hill with Yellow Rovers and Kala and Sweetie over there. We have it. it's all here. And that's kind of what we say today. Thank you for all that effort, for all the journeys and the presentation of our essence, because it makes a big difference. So, Harry, I give it back to you to see who else wants to share, and your show.
Thank you, Ted. We have actually gone over the amount of time that we set for the call, so I think we'll complete here. And really beautiful, inspiring shares from everyone. Thank you so much, and super grateful for everybody's time today and the energy field that we create when we come together. I'm going to pass it to you, Nan Raquel, and see if we just want to close us out and just, yeah, deep gratitude. Thank you.
Yeah, my words are in gratitude. Just thank you all, and so many blessings through this midpoint, this time. And I was thinking of Gustavo and his beautiful partner, Mai. Which greetings to her. Please pass it along today. As I was sending out the invitations for this call, I was thinking about that balance we have, as an earth body, and in this seasonal time. And we're all at the midpoint right now, even if we're at this place of now coming to transition to summer solstice or winter solstice, as we are in the north. But it brought this greater sense of connection to our ceremonial space at Deer Mountain and the Popai, and the directions and the guardians, the nanas and the tatas at each direction. And when you stand at one door, you have the essence of the masculine and the feminine in one orientation, but you're looking across and it's the other, but it's the mirror, and it's the same, and it's the whole. And it's this spiral of creation. And I want to get better as a human being for how to write about these things where I'm speaking that, but just really speaking from this place of my orientation on this sacred earth body of coming into fall equinox, deeply appreciating this awareness of the balance coming into spring. And how can we, no matter where we are, appreciate that it's always in us all the time. And that's what gets us through the hottest depths of summer and the darkest, coldest parts of winter. We endured some hot days, and I was with Ishel by myself up at Bear Paw, and she's just, struggling. Me too. It's a hot day. And I remember saying, Mijita, soak it up. It's just like, why? I'm like, because we're going to be in the same place, and we're going to be cold, and we're going to be wanting that warmth. And the only way to get through sometimes is to hold it inside and to know that it exists and it's all here. And as our leaves change and we come into this color shifting blanket, this embracing, thank you to summer and fruition coming into winter up here in the north. It is so beautiful to know that the buds are forming and the chartreuse color is sprouting out everywhere in another part of her body. And just appreciating the totality of all we are, our deserts, our oceans, our everything. So thank you for being, and just so many blessings to this Earth Peoples United family, and all the names and ways in which you call yourself, your home, your lineage, your tribe, your nations. And may you just hold on to hope and hold on to the strength to love. That's pretty much, I don't know. I say this at every ceremony, and I'll say it here. The farther I go down this path, that becomes my singular, most essential intention, just to be a greater vessel for love. It's enough. So may you be nourished, and may you be well, and may you find whatever sources you to do that for yourself. And may you stay connected, and may you reach out when you are inspired or when you are in need. You know, Tata and I were talking about what it takes to navigate, right? Even these timeless instructions. If we think of the stories and the instructions and the ways of being from this moment right now, so much of it is about staying connected so that we can honor ourselves and our path and our hopes and our prayers, that which really matters. So stay close to the sense that you are part of this web of life and in relationship to others and each one of us. And may you be well this fall, this spring, this moment of acknowledging the wholeness in you and each one of us. And again, thank you to you, Dot Eric, and to that sacred place of Patiapa in Guatemala, and just the Mayan lineage that is at the root of the founding of Earth Peoples United, so that all of the people can gather and that we can all circle around that which is sacred so that we can see it in each other. So just so much thanks. And please feel free to unmute yourself and share your voice and vibration as we give our farewell greeting for now. And until next time, just so much love and many blessings to you. Be well.
Blessings and beauty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you.
Love to all of you.
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Good to see all of you and hear your words.
Good to Thank you. Many blessings. Good to see and be with all of you.
Hi, Lucia.
Hi. Good to see all of you. Thank you so much for the words. Feeling so nourished. I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
getting the
Love you
recording. Love you.
So good to see you, Tim. Blessings to you.
You
Blessings
too.
to each one of you, but I just didn't acknowledge it on this call, and just so good to have you here with us. And
I'm so blessed to be here. I can't use, there are no words for it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Beautiful teachings and good to see everyone. Be well.
Thank you, Hedy.
Thank you.